Yes guys, what's going on? Welcome to AdamMcKola TV. I am Adam. We're back for another weekly United slash Q&A slash, we're just here to talk about Manchester United and all things that have been going on in the last couple of days. And the last week has been a busy one for the Reds. Obviously we won at the weekend, beating Norwich, and then we got through in the Cup against Wolves with a 1-0 victory thanks to Juan Mata's goal. But in and around that, there's been a whole host of talk surrounding transfers and transfers in and transfers out. Obviously one of those players that has left Manchester United or is on the verge of leaving as we speak, but that move looks close as he's doing his medical in Italy, is of course Ashley Young. Now Ashley Young has been at Manchester United for 9 years, played over 250 times, scored around 19 goals, won 5 medals as well, the medals being Premier League, Europa League, FA Cup, League Cup, Charity Shield. So he's won it all apart from the Champions League for Manchester United. He's not had a bad career at all at the club, and obviously the last few seasons, the last 3 years I'd say, we've probably seen an Ashley Young that we haven't wanted at Manchester United, and because of a result of us chopping and changing managers, somehow he's survived. But what Ashley Young has always done has been a committed player to Manchester United's cause, been someone that's battled for that shirt, always tried whenever he's been played out of position or whatever. And we've got to remember fullback was a player, was him being played out of position, and he's never complained, got his head down, worked hard, captained the club at times. And look, that might suggest how far we've fallen, and that's fine, but Ashley Young's a good lad, and I think you've even seen that with his connection to the fans and him going on away trips and stuff like that. So good luck to him out in Italy. Now if the rumours of him not wanting to train or play and forcing through that move, that's a little bit disappointing, but that's football. And at the end of the day, United were prepared to let him go at the end of the season on a free. It's a cutthroat business. We've managed to get a 1.5 million euro fee in for him. So the time for him at the club had come to an end, whether it was now or in the summer. And he's gone, and he could help them challenge for the league. Good luck to him. But I don't think we'll be missing him at Manchester United, especially when you look at our fullback selection: Wan-Bissaka, Dalot, Ethan Laird, Luke Shaw, Brandon Williams. We've got a whole host of options at fullback position. Timothy Fosu-Mensah, who can also play there, so nothing to be worried about. Josh, who was in the comments, has said, who should be the next club captain? Now we already know that Harry Maguire has got the skipper's armband. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer confirmed that today. Now based on his form for Manchester United, I'd have to say that's a surprising decision, but when you look at the kind of man he is, the kind of player he is, the kind of character he is, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's record signing as well, when you look at all those things, it kind of makes sense for him to be the club captain. He's also going to be one of the first names on the team sheet. Now David De Gea might feel a little bit hard done by in terms of not being the captain, but many managers think that goalkeepers shouldn't be captains really. In essence, we shouldn't need someone to have the armband to lead, and I think Harry Maguire is one of those, but I don't mind him being club captain. As for alternatives, what were the alternatives? You're looking at David De Gea, which is probably most people's shout, and I'd probably been happier for him to get it, but I'm not that fussed with Maguire. Paul Pogba could have potentially gotten it, but he's not really committed to the future to his future at the club yet. So around that, you're looking at Rashford, too early for him, and I think Harry Maguire's the right man for the job. Another comment was from Black Simba, which says, do you think we need to go into the market for a striker, and what level striker would you be looking for? One he wanted was Lautaro Martinez, who's at Inter and doing pretty well there at the moment, and forming a decent partnership with Romelu Lukaku. I think it's one of the best partnerships in Europe in stats alone at the moment. And he says he would suit Ollie's high energy system. But do we need a world class or a squad player? Obviously we were linked with Erling Haaland, and Ollie seemed happy to make that deal happen. Now that deal didn't go ahead, and he's moved on to Borussia Dortmund. At the moment we've got Mason Greenwood, Anthony Martial, Marcus Rashford, who are our main 3 forward players, our main 3 goal scorers. They've got 39 goals between them. They've outscored Sadio Mane, Roberto Firmino, and of course Mo Salah, which is decent for them as well. Obviously not suggesting right now they're better than all 3 of them, but it shows you that they're doing something right. It'd be difficult to upset that. So I think like a squad player type player would probably be best fit. But for me, I think we need to focus on those wide players, because if you focus on those wide players, Greenwood becomes an option for number 9. If we have to, you can play Marcus Rashford through there. And then if you've got ample players in those wide positions, I think you're covered then in terms of keeping those 3 strikers or 3 forward players as your goal scorers. Sakib asks, how pleased are you with Anthony Martial's development and improvement this season, and have you been surprised by it? I haven't been surprised by it because I think he's a quality player now. We've not really seen an improvement in his goal scoring. I think his goal scoring is about par for course with Anthony Martial. He's played just under 200 games. He's scored around 60-70 goals for Manchester United. This season, he's got 11 in 23 appearances. I think he's 11 in 20 starts, which is a good return for your number 9. But I think what we're seeing from him as well is that his willingness to do the dirty things, tracking back, grabbing in the tackles, he's doing that a lot more. His movement's very good. And I think at times he's one of the only ones that's leading that press. Now, he's not quick on the accelerator, so he's never going to be just constantly steaming into defenders, but he's one of the first players to start that press. He's often seen ushering his other players on and asking them to come and help him out in those positions, and I think he is growing into the role of being the number 9 man for Manchester United. We've known that's his most natural position, but he's been playing out wide for the last couple of seasons. I feel Jose Mourinho hindered his development a little bit as well, and when you look at that season when he had 10 goals, 10 assists by this stage in the season, and then he gets dropped for Alexis Sanchez, that was a real setback for him, and I think he's started to pick up where he left from there, and is showing signs of improvement and signs of development. Still areas where he can obviously improve on, and I'd like to see him score a few more goals, but that will come, of course. Alex Stone says, assuming Fernandes signs, if you could make 3 more realistic signings, who would they be? Now, obviously, as we speak, the latest on Bruno Fernandes is that he's going to play in that game between Sporting and Benfica, and then possibly the deal will be done after that. Everything seems to be towards United being positive of getting that deal done, and Sky have even been talking about financial things and that. So it looks like Bruno Fernandes is signing. I don't think we'll make any more signings in January. I'm surprised we've actually been able, if it comes through, to make Fernandes happen. But 3 more realistic signings, who would they be? Now, we need another midfielder. We need 1 player or 2 players to play in that attacking area, and possibly a defensive player as well. So who would I bring in at Manchester United? So the first one would be Jack Grealish. Now, Jack Grealish can play behind the striker, left, right. He can even drop really deeper if he has to as a false 9. He can play in a number of positions, and that flexibility is something that I really like. When I spoke about the 3 strikers earlier, I mentioned, if we can get someone who can play in those wider positions in behind, it will allow them to be able to play through the middle a lot more as well. And I think Jack Grealish is someone that we could make happen in the summer. I do think that one is realistic. Now, assuming that Paul Pogba leaves, which I think is a fair assumption at this moment in time. He hasn't renewed his contract yet. He's going to have a year left in his contract at the end of the season. United will probably look to cash in on him. If we let Pogba go, I'd bring in James Maddison. I wouldn't have an issue with bringing in James Maddison, Jack Grealish, having Bruno Fernandes, having Fred McTominay, James Garner, Dylan Levitt. I wouldn't have an issue with that at all. I think having the numbers there, if you play Maddison in the 10, you can play Jack Grealish out wide. If you play Maddison deeper in the midfield with Fernandes and McTominay behind them, you can play Jack Grealish on the right, Rashford on the left, Martial through the middle. So I would still try to make that happen. When you look at Manchester City, when you look at Liverpool, you see they've got countless number of players in those positions. And we need to have that as well. We need to have the luxury. At the moment, we've just been relying on Paul Pogba to create things, and he's been out and we've been struggling. So the fact that our strikers have actually scored goals is a surprise. But yeah, if we could do that, oh man, that would be great. I don't think we would do that though. I think if Pogba left and we brought in Grealish, we'd probably think that's enough, and maybe bring in another all-round midfielder. There's talk about Boubakary Soumaré. There's talk about midfielders like that, and we do need another one of those as well. But we also need possibly defenders too. As for that 3rd signing, Jadon Sancho. Am I going too top heavy? Maybe I am. Maybe I'm just goal crazy. We do need defenders. if we let go like Rojo, Jones, and then we only have Maguire, Lindelof, Twanzebe, could possibly bring in someone like a Kalidou Koulibaly. That wouldn't be bad either. Tolu asks, do you think it's wise to play Rashford versus Liverpool if he isn't 100% fit, risking an injury that could leave him out for months like that? And I've got to agree with you, mate. Look, I thought, you know, to bring him on against Wolves was the right decision. We needed to win that game at that time, and you can pick up an injury at any occasion in training or whatever. But if he's not fully fit and he has to be taking painkilling injections or whatever, or playing through the pain barrier to play against Liverpool like he did last season, then don't play him. It's far too much of a risk. We could lose with him, we could lose without him, we could win with him, we could win without him. It'd be obviously more difficult to win it without him, but the season ahead is more important as well. We can't get caught up in the emotions of one game. As it is, we're far away from Liverpool. Yes, it's an important game, it's always going to be, but they've beaten us many times and we've won the league, and what did it really mean? So if we're risking Rashford for that, I wouldn't be happy with that. If he's fit, play him. If he's 90% fit, play him. But if he's playing through the pain barrier and all this kind of stuff, then just don't do it. It's not worth the risk. Chris Pauly says, why haven't we been able to get a talisman type player in a number 7 shirt? Cantona, Beckham, Ronaldo brought a legendary status to our number 7, but now there's been a string of shit since then. Do you think the pressure of the number is too much, or should we just retire it? I don't think the pressure of the number is too much. I think it's just waiting for the right player. Now, when you look at the players that have occupied it, Michael Owen was never going to be a long-term success in that shirt, and he was never really going to be accepted by many Manchester United fans. And when you look at the stage in his career that he came in, Valencia, again, not a number 7 type player. Who else had it? Memphis Depay. Maybe you could argue he was, but he just didn't work out at Manchester United. And the thing is, look, when Cantona took the shirt, obviously I was very young at that time, but I can't remember there being that much pressure on him. There was pressure on Beckham when he got it, but he was playing in a very good team as well. Now, I wouldn't mind Rashford or someone like that taking it, to be totally honest with you. Ronaldo took it. He thrived under that pressure probably, but I think it's too much to say the number plays a part in that. Valencia had said it, didn't he? He felt like it was good luck to go back to 25, but I don't think we should retire it. No, it should be used to inspire. If you can't be inspired by the history of Manchester United as a player, then Manchester United probably isn't the right club for you anyway. Mason Greenwood for 7. Anyway guys, that has almost been it for this weekly United / Q&A. Thank you for all your comments and your questions. Sorry if I didn't get to read yours out this week. Any other news, any other business? What are we talking about this week? Ashley Young, Bruno Fernandes, all that stuff. Look, I'm going to have a Liverpool preview coming up, so I don't want to talk about that game too much in this video because it'll date it for those that are watching it after that game as well. So I'm going to get out of here now, but thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Make sure you're subscribing, liking, commenting and sharing. And for now, I'm AdamMcKola. I'm out of here.